On a colorful planet named Zephyra, the air buzzed with excitement. It was the day of the Great Galactic Culinary Championship, a cooking contest that brought chefs from all over the universe. Bright banners fluttered in the warm breeze, and the aroma of delicious food filled the atmosphere. Chefs in fancy outfits rushed around, setting up their kitchens, each one hoping to impress the judges with their culinary skills. Among the chefs was Zorak, an alien known for his elaborate dishes. He was tall, with shimmering green skin and large eyes that sparkled with confidence. Zorak had won the championship 3 times in a row, and he was determined to make it 4. He believed that his home planet, with its advanced cooking technology, had the best cuisine in the galaxy. Zorak scoffed at the idea of human food, calling it boring and tasteless. In a small corner of the bustling kitchen area stood Mia, a young human chef. She had long, dark hair and bright eyes filled with determination. Mia loved cooking, especially the recipes handed down from her grandmother. Her family often made traditional dishes, full of flavor and love. However, many aliens looked down on human cuisine, seeing it as simple compared to their fancy meals. Despite the challenges, Mia felt a spark of excitement. She had always dreamed of entering a contest like this, and today was her chance. As she prepared her station, she thought of her grandmother's secret recipe for a savory dish called Grandma's Spicy Stew. It was a family favorite, bursting with flavors that warmed the heart. As Mia gathered her ingredients, she overheard Zorak boasting to other contestants. "Human food is just plain and dull. It lacks creativity. I will easily win this contest again," he said, laughing loudly. The other chefs nodded, some even whispering about how Mia didn't stand a chance. They believed Zorak's arrogance and skill made him unbeatable. But Mia refused to be discouraged. She smiled to herself, remembering her grandmother's words. Cooking is not just about the food. It's about the love you put into it. She knew that if she could put her heart into her dish, it could change their minds about human cuisine. Mia decided that she would not only participate, but also show everyone how special human food could be. When the announcer called for the first round, chefs scrambled to their stations, eager to impress the judges. The challenge was to create a unique dish using the strange ingredients provided. Mia looked at the colorful alien fruits and vegetables before her. Some were unlike anything she had ever seen, with bright colors and unusual shapes. Zorak was already at work, skillfully slicing alien vegetables with incredible speed. "Watch and learn, human! You will see how real chefs create art on a plate," he taunted, not even glancing at Mia. But she remained focused, determined to make her dish shine. Mia picked up a bright blue fruit and tasted it. It was sweet with a hint of tartness, perfect for her stew. She quickly began to chop and mix her ingredients, adding spices and flavors that reminded her of home. As she cooked, the rich aroma wafted through the air, catching the attention of nearby chefs. Zorak glanced over, surprised. "What is that smell?" "It can't be the human dish." He frowned, realizing that Mia was creating something different and exciting. The judges began to move closer, intrigued by the scent of her cooking. As the time ticked away, Mia worked with passion and focus. She plated her dish carefully, adding a touch of garnishing that her grandmother always did. With a final glance at her creation, she felt proud. It wasn't just a dish, it was a piece of her family and culture, ready to share with the universe. When the time was up, the chefs lined up to present their dishes to the judges. Mia stood tall, her heart racing but her spirit strong. This was her moment to show that human cuisine had its own unique charm and flavor. She smiled, knowing that no matter the outcome, she was ready to embrace this challenge with all her heart. The Great Galactic Culinary Championship was heating up. After the first round, excitement buzzed in the air like the scent of fresh herbs. The judges had tasted the dishes, and Mia felt hopeful. She had poured her heart into her stew, and the judges seemed impressed. Zorak, on the other hand, was furious that a human dared to compete against him. His overconfidence had turned into annoyance. As the announcer called for the second round, Mia took a deep breath. This round would be tougher. Chefs had to create a dish using unusual alien ingredients that they had never worked with before. Each chef received a box filled with different items, including glowing mushrooms, spiraled vegetables, and a strange purple paste that smelled sweet but looked slimy. Mia opened her box and her heart sank a little. The ingredients were unlike anything she had ever seen. "How am I supposed to use this?" she whispered to herself. But she quickly reminded herself of her grandmother's teachings. Embrace the challenge, Mia. Creativity is key. Across the kitchen, Zorak opened his box and smirked. Look at this pathetic mix. Only a fool would try to cook with these ingredients, he boasted, holding up a bright green fungus. The other chefs laughed, but Mia only focused on her own work. She refused to let Zorak's arrogance bring her down. Mia picked up the glowing mushrooms. They shone brightly, casting colorful reflections on her workspace. With a careful hand, she sliced them and tasted a small piece. To her surprise, it was savory with a hint of spice. This could work, she thought, excitement bubbling inside her. She began experimenting, mixing the mushrooms with the purple paste. The mixture turned into a vibrant sauce. As she cooked, she felt a rush of energy. The kitchen buzzed with activity, and she could hear Zorak shouting commands to his helpers. He was trying to make a fancy dish with the ingredients, but it seemed too complicated. As time ticked away, Mia noticed Zorak glancing over at her. His expression changed from disdain to concern. What is she doing that's making the judges look over here? He thought. Zorak felt the pressure mounting. He had to win. In the midst of her cooking, Mia faced an unexpected challenge. One of the glowing mushrooms slipped from her hands and rolled across the floor. Oh no, she exclaimed, chasing after it. Just as she reached it, she bumped into Zorak, who was rushing by with a stack of pans. Watch where you're going, human, Zorak yelled, but Mia quickly picked up the mushroom and returned to her station. Her heart raced, but she refused to let anything stop her. She reminded herself of her purpose, to show the galaxy the beauty of human cuisine. Back at her cooking station, Mia combined her sauce with the spiraled vegetables and added some spices she had brought from Earth. She was determined to create something special. As the aroma filled the air, she could see other chefs glancing over, curious about what she was making. Zorak was getting more frustrated by the minute. He couldn't understand why the judges were paying attention to a human when he was supposed to be the star. This is unacceptable, he muttered. He began to rush through his own dish, making mistakes as he hurried. When time was almost up, Mia plated her dish with care. She arranged the colorful vegetables and drizzled the glowing sauce over them. With a sprig of fresh herbs from her supplies, she added a final touch. It looked beautiful, vibrant, and full of life. She stepped back to admire her work, feeling proud of her creation. As the chefs lined up to present their dishes to the judges, Mia's heart raced. She took a deep breath and remembered her grandmother's words. Cooking is about love and passion. With her head held high, she approached the judges. Zorak glared at her, his confidence shaken. This round will not go well for you, human, he whispered as they passed each other. But Mia just smiled, feeling a spark of hope. She had worked hard and had created something truly special. Now it was time for the judges to taste her dish. Mia stood tall, ready to show them the deliciousness of human cuisine, even under pressure. The judges took their places, ready to taste the dishes. Mia's heart pounded with excitement and nerves. She watched as they moved from chef to chef, tasting each dish and making notes. Zorak was next to her, trying to appear calm, but Mia could see the tension in his shoulders. He was worried about losing to her, and that made her smile a little. When it was Mia's turn, she stepped forward, feeling a rush of pride. This is my dish, Grandma's Special Glow Veggie Delight, she said, her voice steady. She presented her colorful plate with a smile, watching as the judges took their first bites. To her delight, their eyes widened in surprise. They savored the flavors, whispering to each other. Mia felt a warm glow inside. Maybe she really could show them that human food was something special. Meanwhile, Zorak was growing more frustrated. His dish, which he had rushed to prepare, was not turning out as he had hoped. The judges were now standing in front of him, and he could feel their scrutiny. This is my signature dish, Zorak's extravagant flair, he announced with forced confidence, presenting his plate with a flourish. As the judges tasted his food, their expressions turned from excitement to disappointment. They chewed slowly, trying to find something nice to say, but Zorak could see that they were not impressed. His heart sank as he realized he had messed up. When the judges finished tasting, they gave their feedback. Mia, your dish is vibrant and full of flavor. It has a nice balance, one judge praised. Mia beamed with joy, feeling her hard work paying off. Zorak's dish, however, received harsh criticism. Zorak, this is overly complicated and lacks flavor. You need to focus on the basics, another judge said gently. Zorak's face turned red with anger and embarrassment. He couldn't believe he was losing to a human. As the second round ended, the announcer declared the chefs who would advance to the final round. Mia's heart soared when her name was called. She felt a rush of excitement and disbelief. She had made it to the finals, but Zorak was still there, glaring at her with resentment. In the kitchen, Zorak's frustration turned into desperation. I can't let a human win, he thought angrily. He decided to take action. He noticed that Mia was preparing for the final round, carefully organizing her ingredients. Zorak, in a moment of weakness, thought about sabotaging her dish. While Mia stepped away from her station for just a moment, Zorak snuck over to her workspace. He picked up a few of her key ingredients and hid them behind a stack of pots. This will teach her, he muttered under his breath, a wicked smile creeping onto his face. When Mia returned, she started to look for her ingredients and realized they were missing. Panic washed over her. Where could they be? She whispered, searching frantically. She spotted Zorak across the kitchen, trying to look innocent, but his eyes betrayed his smugness. Mia's heart raced, but she took a deep breath. I can't let this stop me, she told herself. She decided to adapt and make the best of the situation. She quickly searched for alternative ingredients on her station. She spotted some unusual vegetables left by other chefs and thought they could work. Using her creativity, Mia combined the new ingredients with her sauce. She recalled the importance of improvisation in cooking. Cooking is about being flexible, her grandmother had taught her. With determination, she started to create a new dish that reflected her spirit and resilience. Zorak watched as Mia worked, his confidence slipping away. How is she doing this? He thought, panic creeping in. He had underestimated her talent and heart. As the time limit approached, he realized he was not prepared to lose to someone he had dismissed as unworthy. When the final bell rang, Mia plated her dish, a colorful mix of flavors that looked delicious. She felt proud of what she had created, even with the challenges. Zorak, on the other hand, was struggling to finish his dish, feeling the weight of his earlier mistakes. As they both presented their final dishes to the judges, Mia felt a sense of peace. She knew she had given it her all, and that was what mattered most. Zorak stood beside her, his arrogance replaced by uncertainty. The competition was more intense than he had expected, and he could feel the tide turning. Mia smiled, ready to face whatever came next. She had come so far, and she was determined to show the galaxy that human cuisine was something to be celebrated, no matter the obstacles. The final round of the Great Galactic Culinary Championship was set to begin. Excitement filled the air, and the crowd was buzzing with anticipation. Mia stood at her cooking station, her heart pounding. She could hardly believe she had made it this far. Zorak, standing nearby, looked tense and furious, his confidence shattered after the previous round. He was determined to win at all costs. The announcer called for silence, and the judges took their places. They were ready to taste the final creations. Each chef had 1 hour to prepare their ultimate dish. The theme for the final round was Unity in Diversity, a challenge to showcase flavors from different cultures and species. Mia took a deep breath. She remembered the diverse flavors of Earth, the spices from her grandmother's kitchen, and the simple yet powerful love that went into every meal. She wanted to create something that represented not just her cooking skills, but also the essence of human connection through food. Zorak, on the other hand, was in a panic. He had to prove he was the best chef in the galaxy. The pressure was mounting, and he needed a plan. He had noticed that the judges enjoyed Mia's colorful dishes, so he decided to copy her approach but add his own twist, something more extravagant. As the clock started, Mia immediately got to work. She pulled out various ingredients from her supplies, carefully selecting bright vegetables, aromatic herbs, and spices. She decided to make a dish inspired by her childhood favorite, a colorful vegetable stir-fry with a unique sauce. She wanted to highlight the beauty of her ingredients and their flavors. Meanwhile, Zorak tried to impress the judges with extravagant techniques. He took the glowing mushrooms and flambéed them, creating a dazzling display. They will love this, he thought, lost in his showmanship. But deep down, he felt insecure about his dish's flavor. Mia worked with purpose, her movements fluid and confident. She diced, chopped, and sautéed her vegetables, infusing them with love and care. She blended spices to create a sauce that was rich and inviting. As she cooked, she could feel the warmth of her grandmother's kitchen surround her, giving her strength. As the cooking time dwindled, Zorak became increasingly frantic. He was adding too many ingredients, trying to impress the judges with complexity rather than focusing on flavor. He rushed through his dish, feeling time slip away. His once clear vision turned into a chaotic mess. With only 10 minutes left, Mia carefully plated her dish. She arranged the colorful vegetables, poured her vibrant sauce over the top, and garnished it with fresh herbs. It looked beautiful and inviting. She stepped back, feeling a wave of pride wash over her. Just as she was about to present her dish, she glanced at Zorak. He was struggling, sweat dripping down his face, and his dish looked like a pile of mismatched colors. He seemed stressed, she thought, feeling a little sympathy for her rival. Despite their competition, Mia reminded herself that cooking should bring people together, not tear them apart. When the time was up, the judges began to walk around the kitchen, tasting the final dishes. Mia presented her plate first, explaining her inspiration behind the dish. "This is Unity Stir Fry, a blend of Earth's flavors meant to show how food connects us all," she said, her voice steady. The judges smiled as they tasted her creation, their expressions reflecting delight. Next, Zorak presented his dish, trying to maintain his confidence. "This is Zorak's Cosmic Extravaganza, a bold fusion of flavors," he announced, but deep down, he knew something was off. As the judges tasted his dish, their expressions turned serious. They struggled to find words, their disappointment palpable. As the judges tasted and evaluated each dish, Mia's heart raced. She felt nervous but also excited. She had given her all, and she knew she had created something special. The judges deliberated, whispering among themselves. Finally, the head judge cleared his throat. Both dishes were interesting, but there can only be one winner. Mia held her breath, her heart pounding in her chest. Today, we celebrate creativity and flavor. The winner of the Great Galactic Culinary Championship is... He paused for dramatic effect, and Mia felt like the world had stopped. Zorak clenched his fists, anxiety gripping him. "Mia!" the judge announced, a smile spreading across his face. Mia gasped in disbelief, joy flooding her senses. She had done it. Zorak stared in shock, unable to believe he had lost to a human. The crowd erupted in cheers, celebrating her victory. Mia felt tears of happiness fill her eyes. This moment wasn't just about winning, it was about proving that love and creativity could shine through any barrier. She had shown the galaxy that human cuisine was something special, and she had done it with her heart. As she accepted her trophy, she glanced at Zorak, who was still reeling from defeat. She offered him a smile, hoping to extend a hand of friendship. For Mia, this was not just a personal victory. It was a victory for everyone who had ever shared a meal and a story. The cheers of the crowd filled Mia's ears as she held her trophy high above her head. Her heart was racing with excitement and disbelief. She had not only won the Great Galactic Culinary Championship, but she had also proven to everyone that human cuisine deserved a place in the galaxy. The bright lights shone down on her, illuminating her smiling face. As Mia basked in the glory, she noticed Zorak standing off to the side, looking defeated. His shoulders slumped, and his expression was a mix of anger and embarrassment. She felt a pang of sympathy for him. They had been rivals in the kitchen, but this moment was about more than competition. It was about understanding and connection. Mia decided to approach Zorak. "Hey, Zorak!" she called out, her voice warm and friendly. He looked up, surprise flickering in his eyes. "You cooked really well today. Your dish had potential, it just needed a bit more focus." Zorak blinked, taken aback. He had expected her to gloat, but instead she was offering kindness. I messed up," he said, his voice low. "I tried too hard to impress the judges. I forgot what cooking is really about."